All right. So hello everybody. You're welcome to another amazing market review session. Um, as usual, this is a session where we take a look at what the market looks like at the moment, and we inform ourselves or we help ourselves formulate a formidable bias. All right. We help ourselves to be able to get in on the market regarding what it is that we should be expecting from the market for the course of during the course of the week. All right. So as a result of that tonight, I just want to say a big welcome to everybody. And let's get right into what we have for tonight. Last week was quite eventful. We had some really amazing movements on the dollar. All right. Some really amazing movements on the dollar. But however, I need us to be able to understand what my overview for this week actually is. All right. So last week, towards the end of the week, there was a surge in strength in the strength of the dollar. And I think we should all be able to understand why that was. All right. Basically, because we had a break of structure there. All right. We had an interesting break of structure here. And right after the break of structure, we can see that price came back to take out liquidity. All right, price came back, took liquidity from this equal lows. All right, took liquidity from this equal lows. Stepped into this other block. All right, and once it entered into this other block, we had this push all the way to the top. All right, so for this week, the expectation is, as you can all see, we have approached a major order block too. All right, this is liquidity getting grabbed here, equalized liquidity. All right, so we've had a break of structure here. We've had our first shoulder here. So once price gets into this zone, all right, which is this marked line around 104.432, all right, somewhere within that region, and this overall order block here would be my preferred area of interest, all right, in order to be able to anticipate all right, something like this. Yeah, something like this. All right, and the reason why I'm talking about a weakness in the dollar is because a lot of things, there are a lot of factors to consider when we talk about this. All right, one of them is the fundamental factors. The other is the sentimental factor regarding the fact that there are so many whales that are currently having a tough time maximizing or making profits in the crypto space. All right, and as a result of that, many of them are going to need to hedge their positions. All right, and that means that we should be seeing some more liquidity getting pumped into crypto and stock, at least for for a couple of days. All right, before we can begin to talk about a possible decline or another bear market, all right, in the crypto space. So having said that, all right, dollar, the overall expectation for dollar is a sell. All right. I think there's also AXY. Let me see. Yeah, Australian dollar. All right. So far, the Australian dollar has played exactly according to my predictions. All right, because if you can see this, you will know that this was the prediction from as far back as March. All right, 28th of March. Okay, and currently we can see that the market is still reacting to that analysis. Okay, so we've tested into the other block. We've had a push back to this other block at the top here, and that's what's giving rise to this current drop in Australian dollar. All right, and in my own view, all right, in my view, this would be a much more convenient area for me to expect All right, that's a more reliable zone for me to expect as a target. All right, that would be my first target. And as you can see on the daily time frame, there's another target down here. All right, which, well, if price is able to clear the liquidity here, all right, we might be talking about price coming into this region. All right, let me see to this. Let me just change the color of this. All right, yes. So if we don't get to see a reaction from somewhere around here, then that means we're coming all the way down into this overall order block down here. All right, so having said that, let's go on to the next one. So for AXY, we are expecting some continued bearish impulse or bearish momentum. For pound, all right, so far pound has not disappointed. All right, so far pound has played out perfectly and exactly according to predictions. All right. However, as you can see, I have a zone marked here. All right, where I would naturally be expecting the pound to get to. All right, I'll naturally be expecting the pound to come lower, as you can see, according to this arrow, before it shoots all the way back up. So this region is where my chips are, or where my chips are at. All right. And that's where I'll be expecting to see that bullish spring, all right, from the pound index, all right, somewhere around here, which means that we might expect, we might hope to see, or we should expect to see at least one more day of bearish impulse on the pound index, all right, which is basically one more candle from what we're seeing here, all right. Okay, yes, AXY is bearish. I'm sorry, please, I'm trying to just document this. I'm trying to just document this so that it becomes easier for us to do the main analysis once we get there. And I can also be able to follow up on what the markets are looking like all through the week. All right, so AXY. Okay, let me quickly do that. AXY, we're expecting continued bearish. All right, DXY, I think the same thing. All right, BXY is the same thing. CXY. CXY has also been interesting, as you can see, as far back as that was May, 20th of May. All right, I predicted that. No, that was 6th of May. Yeah, about 3rd or 4th of May, thereabouts. All right, I gave a prediction that price was going to test into this zone here. All right, and after testing into that zone, we're going to see a push to the top here. All right, where we would also be expecting to see a drop. This was an analysis that I took with those in the VIP groups as well. All right, I'm talking about this bearish impulse that we are expecting. Okay, so basically at this point, I would expect that price would come back lower, all right, at least back into this level. All right, so we have CXY is a bearish on the CXY as well, all right, which is the Canadian index. So let's take a look at the dollar index. All right, let's take a quick look at the dollar index. Like I told us, the dollar index, this is where we're at the moment. And in fact, for me, I think the dollar is probably going to be one of the weakest this week. All right. In my view, okay, unless price is able to somehow break above this level, all right. In the absence of that, I think it would be safe to conclude on a bearish impulse on the dollar index, all right? Because as you can see, we've taken out liquidity from all of these areas, all right? And we're testing into this other block at this point on the weekly time frame already. So we might be looking at a continued drop at the moment, all right? So let's see what that looks like, all right? Let's see what that looks like. So that's for the dollar. This is the DXY, all right, which is the Euro Index. All right, this is the Euro Index. And as you can see, the prediction was that price would come lower, all right, but based on what we've seen so far, I think it's safe to expect prices to shoot higher. All right, it's safe to expect prices to shoot higher. All right, so we might have maybe a few hours or maybe one day of continued bearish. All right, maybe one day tops. All right. So that's for the euro. All right. So we're expecting some strength to come into the euro. This is the JPY index. All right. So far, the JPY index has played some really expensive games. All right. We've seen that continued deep lower and lower and lower. All right. But I've taken a look at it from the weekly time frame. All right. And I think let me use the other one. Oh no, sorry. All right, so this is JPY basket. All right, and as you can see, we're inside this overall order block on the weekly time frame. And this was a prediction that I gave a couple of weeks ago. That was around April, all right, and I told us that since we've seen this, all right, we should expect price to come lower to give us a clear entry schematic, all right, as you can see what this looks like. And we've done that right now, okay? So for JPY, I think my bias is bullish. All right, and JPY should be strongly bullish. All right, should be strongly bullish because on the daily time frame we're seeing some interesting movements. All right, so having said that, all right, having said that, let's take a look at the currency pairs, and then we can be able to decipher what to expect from them this week. All right, we're going to start with gold. All right, so this is gold, and since we're expecting some bearish momentum on the dollar, all right, it's safe to expect prices to shoot all the way up. Let me remove this. All right, it's safe to expect prices to shoot all the way up, probably up to this point. All right, or maybe even higher to this point, where at which point we would have taken out the liquidity around this area. All right, so this is my expectation. We should be seeing some degree of bullish momentum on the gold, all right, for the week. All right, so based on that, let's quickly take a look at some of the majors. All right, GU, EU, maybe we can take a look at some other commodities along the line, but the majors basically are looking quite interesting. GBPUSD is almost at an interesting zone that I've been waiting for quite a while. All right, this is the 4 hours time frame. All right, that's the 4 hours time frame. That's the zone, and you can see that that's exactly where my take profit is. All right, so the expectation is that once price gets to that zone, all right, somewhere within this zone, we should be seeing some bullish impulse, all right, since we already confirmed that the dollar should be getting weaker, all right. And the pound is only going to be weaker for maybe one more day, max one more day, all right. So we should be seeing some bullish momentum coming in on the GBPUSD, all right. All right, something like that would be my expectation, okay? Something like this. All right, so let me quickly do this. All right, so that's GBPUSD, all right? So this is the area I'm watching for entry schematics, all right, so that I can be able to properly position myself for that entry. All right, so that's GU. Let's take a look at EURUSD. EURUSD, we talked about it being weaker for just maybe one more day, all right? This was the EURUSD trade that I gave as a forecast some weeks ago, all right? It played out amazingly well, all right? Played out amazingly well. It's currently about 1:46, all right? It's currently about 1:42, 46, thereabout, all right? And my expectation is that it should still come maybe to this level, all right? Which would be a very convenient point where we can begin to talk about the possibilities of EURUSD regaining some ground, all right, some bullish ground, all right. So my expectation would be that price all right, that price does something like this, all right. That would be my expectation for this week, all right. So let's see how that plays out. Let's see how that plays out during the week. USD JPY, we're talking about strength in the USD in the JPY, all right, and weakness for the dollar, all right. So we should be looking for opportunities to short USD JPY. And as you can see on the weekly time frame, USD JPY is currently within an interesting zone. All right, this other block here. All right, it's currently within this other block here. All right, so we should be expecting to see some interesting schematics that would give us an entry confirmation. All right, so there are a couple of options available here. All right, that would be the first option. And that would be the second option, all right? So we have option 1 and 2 for USD JPY, but altogether the overall bias is still very, very bearish. All right, the overall bias is bearish on USD JPY. AUD USD should still should still drop a little longer. All right, price is not at my take profit yet, but we might be seeing some reaction from somewhere around here. All right, so but nonetheless, this was the setup I gave AUD USD since I think that was last week, all right, early last week, all right, and then it played out quite nicely. I think we're around 1:6, okay, 1:10 on this second trade. The first one already took profit at 1:6, I think it was 1:6. Yeah, 1:7. So that was the setup. It played out perfectly. And then, we're still trying to see how this unfolds during the rest or over the next couple of days, all right, for the rest of the week. So that's AUD USD, all right. GBPJPY might not be as interesting as I want or as I expect it to be, all right, because there are a couple of things that are concern for me at the moment, which is basically the fact that we're talking about JPY being bullish, all right? We're talking about GBP being bearish for maybe just one more day, all right? So for GBPJPY, I think it would be safe to say, let's see what price does. Maybe here, all right? And after that, we can now maybe search for an entry around here, all right? Around that line. All right, so basically, if price takes out liquidity here, all right, which I'm not expecting it to, we might see a bit of a consolidation, all right, then price enters into the other block, bounces back up, all right, but even if that does not happen and price breaks through the other block, all right, this would be my area of interest for an entry, which is around 163.460, all right. All right, or we might also have option B. All right, we might also have option B. Okay, so be sure to run proper analysis, all right. Watch out for your preferred entry criteria, all right, before you can say, oh yeah, I took this trade, all right, based on recommendation. All right. So does anybody have any commodities they would like me to take a look at? I think we've done some of the majors, all right. Then we've looked at GBPJPY, which is one of my favorites. So if you have any commodity you would like me to take a look at, please let me know in the chat box. All right, Nzd JPY, you can see my preferred point of entry. I really would have entered from here, all right, but I missed that trade because, most times I'm not on seat or probably available in the office. But as you can see, this is, okay, this is something interesting I'm looking at the moment. So I'm hoping to see price. All right, so that would be my expectation on Nzd JPY. NZD card, all right, someone requested NZD card. Let's take a look at that quickly. This is interesting, NZD card on the 4 hours time frame. I think we have the same thing on Euro card as well, all right, because we're talking about Euro card being weak for maybe 1 or 2 more days or 2 or 3 more days, all right, and that means that we should see some interesting movements on commodities like this. We've seen that beautiful break of structure. Here we've seen the manipulation, the liquidity grab to the downside. All right, so all right, so that's my bias on NZD card. All right. Is that clear, please? For the person that asked for that, is this clear? NZD card, is that clear now? So this is my Nzd USD analysis, all right? It's a profit last week. But as you can see from the arrows, my expectation is that we still come maybe to somewhere around here. All right, so maybe somewhere around there would do justice to the movement, all right? But for now, I don't think that I'm in a hurry to place any trades on Nzd USD until I'm able to see some proper market confirmations, all right? Okay, I think there's another other block here. Oh no, not that one. Yeah. All right, so let's see how that holds up. Let's see how that reacts. We're talking about the dollar being weaker anyways. So let's see if that gives us another push to the upside. All right, let's see USD card. All right, so we've talked about the USD getting weaker. All right, USD card buy didn't tap me in here. All right, because I was hoping that it would come all the way back down here. But nonetheless, I'm just waiting to see what price does around here. All right, we're saying we've seen the liquidity grab here. All right, we've seen the break of structure here. All right, we've seen the break of structure there. We have another block right around here. Okay, so my expectation would be that as price is coming into this other block, all right, we'll take out this equal highs liquidity. All right. We take out the equal highs liquidity, and then after that liquidity is taken out, we can expect something like this. All right. Does anybody else have any commodity they would like us to take a look at quickly before we wrap up for tonight? Any other commodity? Let's take one last one. Let's take one last one. I think we talked about US 30 last week. Okay, so maybe we should just take a look at that. Was it US 30? Yes, I think it was. All right, so for US 30, I think I talked about the fact that we should be expecting US 30 to come into this zone, all right, which would be my preferred zone of entry for a buy, all right, after price has taken out this liquidity. Okay, so I think that bias still stands. I think I'm still working with that. US 100. Was an interesting one too. I gave us this setup. That must have been last month, right? Early last month, all right? And as you can see, it played out perfectly, right? Perfectly. Inside that other block, we had some solid entry schematics. Right, we had some real solid entry schematics. All right. Right afterwards, we saw price retesting to this other block, all right, and then give us this massive drop. But nonetheless, I think we might be expecting prices to go back higher, all right, since we have that other block zone there. We've seen a break of structure to the upside, all right. We've seen a liquidity grab here, all right, as a manipulation. This is a gap. This is a gap here, all right. This is a gap here. So when price taps into this, we should see price bounce back up. Okay. Are we all clear about these things? All right. Do we all understand this? Are there any questions, please? Are there any questions? All right, I think we do not have any questions tonight. All right, so once again, I want to say a big thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of the weekly market review by myself, Adetola-Freeman. Thank you for joining us. My name remains the same, like you know. All right, I'm the FX Templar, the lead instructor at Easy FX Academy. So thank you for joining us once again this week. All right, and I look forward to having a really rewarding and amazing week with you guys. All right. So when next I come your way again, take care and God bless you. Have a lovely one. Bye-bye.